Hey, Jeff Howard here, fixmykite.com and Kiteboarding.com. As we all know, replacing valves is something that's necessary out there, and they're getting more difficult. This is the SUP valve. We call it an SUP valve. Nash calls it a surelock valve. There's a lot of kites out there that are starting to use this valve. It's nice and flush and it's clean and people are liking it. The air goes in and goes out. But I'm going to tell you, replacing this or doing this job yourself gets very difficult. So we're going to try to give you the steps of being able to do that. Now, we've only had to replace these on a few kites, very few out there, where it cracked along the base of the seal and had to do this work in replacing the valve. If not that, the bladder has been completely blown out and we've had to build a whole new bladder to replace it. So we've come up with some steps here and we want to try to share those with you so you may be able to replace that valve and do that work yourself. So once you get one of our valves, it's like this. It comes with a kit. So you've got the valve ready to stick on. You've got a replacement patch. This is a patch that goes around the base. This is a 4-inch patch. We use these in our megas, but this is part of the kit, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. You also get alcohol pads, and then there's going to be a click to this video. So other than that, this is what it comes with. Now, the tools that you're going to need: a pair of scissors, a marker, a hair dryer. This is just to warm it up to get it to stick down good. You want a tape gun or have some tape to the side so you're ready to hold this, unless you have a friend that is going to help you do this. But a lot of us, we get to doing it here at the shop, and we've got to figure out ways to do it by ourselves. The other tool that you're going to want to build is cardboard. Get you a stack of cardboard. I say this is about 2 inches thick. It's not a big deal. And you want to cut 3-inch holes. Get it taped together so you have this space in here to be able to do the install. The most important part is when you go to replace a valve, no matter what it is, you want the surface nice, smooth, and flat as possible, because once that tear aid goes down, it sticks down and it's a solid stick. So you want to have that important to get it flat. In doing so, here's one that's been replaced, so I want to show you when it's done. The problem is these valves have a base that sticks down a lot. That's what makes it hard and difficult. So you can see this one has been replaced. It's marked in its location, so use your old one to use the location to where it goes, or measure out to figure out where it is on there. If you have any questions, don't forget to give us a call. But it's not hard. It shows where it goes if you have to cut it out, and easily put it on there. So, and you'll see on the back side here, this is the key to it. This is a little hole that's cut that has a flapper on here, and then that big patch, the 4-inch patch, will cover that hole back up. So yes, you will be cutting a hole, extra hole in your bladder that you will not need once it's fully done. You just cover it back up. So what we've got, this is a bladder here, and I've cut a 2 1/4 inch hole here on the top side. So you can see this one, it's marked 2 1/4, get a marker, draw it around, cut that one completely out. Separate your 2 layers of bladder, use your scissors, and just slowly take your time and trim that 2 1/4 inch hole. Now, offset on the back side of the bladder. This is the most important. Remember, it's offset. You can see it there. It's probably offset easily about 6 inches from each other, from center to center. On the other side, when you go to cut a hole, it's a 3-inch hole. But leave the flap. Do not cut this completely out. You want to just cut it enough so this stays open inside of here. This is to allow that valve to lay flat completely, offset it, and then you can repatch it. So I'm going to turn it over. So what you would do is I've got my 2 1/4 inch hole cut out, and on the back side I've got my 3-inch. I'm over my template, my cardboard template. Now you want to slide the bladder so the holes line up. Once you get these holes lined up and over your template, now you can see this is the key to it. It allows me to lay that bladder flat. You don't want to stretch it, you just want to keep it nice and flat. So if you're doing this by yourself, get your tape and start taping it down in here. Just a little bit of tension and keeping everything as flat as possible. And take your time. Doing this once is the most important part of it. because you're not going to get a second chance to do it once you stick these valves on. So you can see my flaps down in there. I've got a clearance to easily take this valve and lay it flat in that spot, and I can easily, let me take the cap out here, or the insert, but you can see now I've got a flat surface to work this area on. So now what I would do, once I get it flat, I've tested it, I've checked it, you take your alcohol patch, get your whole area nice and clean, use your hair dryer, make sure there's no residue on there. Sometimes these will leave a little bit of residue and somebody will do it real quick. You want that to be nice and dry so you get a good solid contact with your bladder. So now that I get this, I peel off the paper and take your time. These are very big patches, and what happens is this stuff, you go to lay it down and the tear will go down. Give it a second to relax in the downward position after you practice where it's gonna go and get everything held. Then what you're gonna do is peel that paper off, taking your time. Once it's relaxed, get it down nice and close, and then smoothly lay it down in there and work from the center out to make sure you have no bubbles in there, or no creases or anything else. Once you get that all nice and sealed, get your hair dryer again, warm this up. It just creates that bond a little bit better within the bladder and the terate and gets it in there. Now once that's done, and you get that stuck in there, now you gotta go to repair it. Now you turn it back over, get it onto a flat surface, offset it. Now your valve's gonna be over here, stuck in out of the way. Now you tape down where your flap was, get that all nice and flat, or get a friend to help you out and hold it. And again, if you check your stretching here. If you're stretching it, that patch is gonna be offset. So just relax, get it all set, clean that area again, all the residue off, take your other patch, your terate, and get that, and notice where it's gonna go. And if you wanna mark the bladder where it needs to lay down on there once you get that terate in there, it's always good to fold a little bit of it, leave some paper back, line it up on a hole, and then continue pulling it off and get it to lay out flat. Rub that down, warm that up a little bit, and then voila, you end up with a patch side that you needed to install the main one, and the main one there is offset and ready to go and air up. Anyway, that's Jeff Howard here at FixMyKite.com and Kiteboarding.com to show you how to install one of these most difficult SUP type valves. If you have any questions, let us know.